Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. It's nice to take a field trip every once in a while and go on the road. And we are here at the iconic McCoy Stadium for Pawtucket Red Sox baseball. And I'm very happy to be joined for the first time on this show and in the first segment, Michael Gwynn. He's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. And we appreciate you allowing us into your house today. Thank you.
We love having you come up here, Sean. I'll tell you, this is a very special place. The sun is out. You know, it was so overcast until you guys got here.
Yeah,
so
we bring the sun with us.
Please come again. Anytime you want, you're always welcome in our house, that's for sure.
You're a fascinating person to talk to because before we even got out on the field and set up, there was so much to talk about and see. Well, let's start with just an overview of the Pawtucket Red Sox. You know, we'll talk with the manager in the second segment. It's a AAA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. You take it from there.
Yeah, AAA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox put their AAA team here back in 1973. An interesting thing happened along the way. After the 1976 season, the PawSox went bankrupt. So the Red Sox wanted to keep the affiliate here in Pawtucket. Proximity to Boston was easy for their executives. Many of them lived right off 95, so you could quickly get in the car, come down and see a prospect such as Fred Lynn, Jim Rice, and the team was loaded in those days. So right around that time, there was a gentleman named Ben Mondor, who had been a very successful businessman, and what his sort of niche was, he started out working in a mill, and the mill went bankrupt, and he went to the bank and said, you know, I think I can turn around this mill. I think if you give me a chance, I can go in and turn that around. So the bank gave him a chance. He went in and turned the mill around. So he found another bankruptcy and turned that around.
Wow.
And he was this happened 3, 4, 5 times. In the mid-'70s, Ben retired. So he is living next to a former major league player from Rhode Island named Chet Nichols, who was a fine player in the 50s. So the Red Sox call, now it's all coming together, Sean. Can you see what's going to happen now here? The Red Sox say, we're in bankruptcy.
And turn us around.
Turn us around. And Chet Nichols says,
don't you need to know about baseball, though?
You hang on. You're getting into the story. I
can't help it. I can't help it.
So you're at the edge of your seat, I'll tell you. So the Red Sox call Chet Nichols. And Chet Nichols says, you know, I just happen to live next door to a gentleman named Ben Mondor who just retired and had an expertise in bankruptcy. So they put them together. And Ben didn't know anything about baseball. Very perceptive.
Thank you.
Very perceptive.
Thank you.
I like that. That's why I like your show there. I learn a lot from it.
You're going to be on a lot more often.
So
I'll tell you
what
that.
happens is the Red Sox say, you know, Ben, there are the intricacies of a baseball team that are different than a mill or so forth. You know, there's
just a little
ticketing, there's concessions. There's you know a number of different things when you deal as an affiliate of a major league team. There are certain things you have to do and procedures. So Ben, like you said, didn't know a lot about baseball, but he was a great businessman. So the Red Sox said, you know, there's a 23-year-old kid working for us in Elmira as a general manager, a real sharp young guy from the New England area. Let's put you two together and see if he could help you out. So in February of 1977, 2 months before the start of the season, they came to this ballpark right here in the cold snow of a February day. They talked. Ben walked around upstairs, and when I said this building was a bankrupt organization, I mean the owner who had been here before just left everything.
Packed it up and took
Ben
off.
and Mike was walking that concourse up there, and there was a chicken bone frozen in the floor, and Ben went up, slipped in the chicken bone, right in his back. He looks up at Mike and says, Mike, even the best businessmen have made one big mistake in their career, and I hope this isn't going to be mine. As he's lying on his back, but he said, I'm going to give it a go if you're with me. And Mike said, I'll give it a try. Now, that was 1977. To tell, you know, to bring the story in full circle, Ben was with us until 2010, did pass away at 85. And Mike is still with us, and he's the president of the team.
Wow.
All from that encounter. And so it was a bankrupt organization. No one came to the games. So it really was Mike and Ben's vision to say, how can we make this work? And how they made it work was they figured out that the reason people would come here, low ticket prices, in a family-oriented atmosphere. It has to be something where people can take their kids to a game, feel safe, free parking, because Boston's right up the road. But why come here instead of Boston? Well, you come here because you can take the whole family, very inexpensive. You get to see, Red Sox type players, and so that was his niche. He put that together, and he was very committed to that. And I get here in '91. The ticket prices in '91 for general admission tickets were $4 for adults and $3 for kids. Now, almost 24 seasons later, the tickets have gone up $2 for kids and $4 for adults.
Wow,
and it's still free parking. So the mission that Ben set forth, clean, affordable entertainment, free parking, an incredibly friendly staff, an accommodating staff, that started in '77. Now the first year he came to own this team, they had a total attendance in 72 games of 59,000 fans. Now, 59,000 fans might seem a lot, but if you say 72 games, so that's under 1,000 a game, and thrown into that 59,000 was the Red Sox, as a favor to them, had the Boston Red Sox team come down here twice to play an exhibition game.
Wow.
That's, Rice, Lynn, now those great 70 teams. So you take that attendance out, which is about 12,000. They probably had high 40,000 in attendance in 72 games. Now, almost 40 years later, we're between 600,000 and 700,000 a year in attendance. We're in the top 10 in minor league baseball in attendance. So, and we're very proud of that, but humble about that. We know that it's done one game at a time. Anyone who comes through this door, Ben's mantra was, and Mike Tambora continues as that, we got to make sure that anyone who took the time to bring their family to McCoy Stadium, they have to know how much we appreciate the fact. They could have gone to the beach, they could have gone to the movies, they could have stayed home and watched TV. But they decided to come to McCoy Stadium and spend their hard-earned money. And we're so thankful for that, and we want to make sure they know how much we appreciate them. So that is drilled into everyone in the staff. And I'm proud to say that anyone who does come here, they leave, I'm almost certain they're going to say, that was a great day, great ballpark, but the people that work there are just so friendly. And that makes us happy when we hear that.
It's sort of a mantra for a lot of minor league teams. It's all about the approachability, the affordability, the fan-friendly nature of the players. You're much more. It's much more community-oriented. There's a lot more promotions, local promotions that are going on. That seems to be the thing.
Well, yeah. And one thing we are sort of a conservative. I mean, I think Ben's approach to is New Englanders don't like a lot of that.
That
dynamite lady and they did. I think you go to Fenway Park, you appreciate the venue, you have some fun in the music, but you don't need to have someone go out and blow themselves up at second base like some places. We don't need that.
Some hokiness of.
Yes. So I think that's been the theme, but we've tried to incorporate family fun type nights. So Monday night, and I know you're going to be back on Monday night when you hear this one, and you're going to be back every Monday night, and your crew is too.
Okay.
Every Monday night. All hot dogs, peanuts,
Done. I'm here.
Peanuts, Cracker Jacks, chips are all $1.
You could have just said food in general.
All
and I would have
night
been
long,
here.
$1. So if you bring a 10 spot that night,
I'm
you're
good
going to be
go.
one full person, I'll tell you at the end of the night.
I question that part, but we'll
So that's
see.
Monday nights. And then on Tuesday nights, we grab one fan from the stands. He comes out in the field, and he throws a pitch through a target, and you win $10,000. Unfortunately, you can't do it now because it says friends, families, and acquaintances of the PawSox are not eligible. I just met you, so you're out of luck on Tuesday. Everyone else, come on down.
I'll send a ringer down for me.
Come on down. Wednesdays, we have photo in the field Wednesdays. That means after every game on Wednesdays, you can take your family down the stairs, and walk out in the outfield and take photos on the field. Spectacular because you've just been out in the field. I mean, you've just been watching these players in the field. And to go down there in the field and take photos is great. Friday, we have Family 4-Pack Friday where family can come for tickets, hot dog program for $44. So that's a nice event. And then on Sunday is probably my favorite day at McCoy Stadium. We play a game. It's in a day. It's always, for the most part, a 1 o'clock game, which I love day baseball. After the game, we invite all fans of all ages to come down and run the bases. After the game.
Kids love that.
And I'll tell you, the kids love that, but I think it's really a special thing for parents because I see PawSox baseball as making memories for families. When you leave here on that Sunday to see the kids with their dad, with their mom, you see a dad holding the hands of his young daughter, smiling after they just run the bases. Or you see mom patting her young son who just beat her in a foot race around the bases. You see grandmothers out there. It just is, it's great experience. And where we're standing right now is where they sort of walk out of the stadium, and to see the smiles on the faces and the memories they're creating. You know, to do things with your kids, there's one thing about taking them someplace and you just, you know, put in the day, it's an hour and then let's get out of here. But when you go, it's a very interactive day and you both have a great time, both the kiddo and the parent, I think that's special. And I think that's what you'll find at a PawSox game on a Sunday with this run the bases, you know. And it's one of the great traditions of sport, running the bases. Everyone can remember at one time running the bases with their buddies. And you know, one thing we don't do, we don't like go opposite ways. We used to do as a kid,
right.
where
That's
in the first go back, that gets a little that gets a little bit much. But so that's a fun day. So in all, if people want to find out if they don't have a pencil on them right now, as I always say,
well, they're online.
Just go to PawSox.com, and then you have all that information about those theme nights and when we play. And again, the tickets are $5 to $12, so it's you're going to have money back in your pocket when you leave this place.
Talk about McCoy Stadium. We talk about the team, but talk about it's kind of iconic.
Well, it is, and I think one of the great things about this, for those people who have not been here, is that the old expression "there's not a bad seat in the house," but this is sort of
that's true.
It's an amphitheater type structure where being in the back row is not necessarily the worst thing. You know, many stadiums where if it's sort of a slow sloped seating area. So if you're in the back, you have a tough time to look. This is really sort of being an amphitheater. Sometimes the front row is a great seat, but you sit in the back row, and you get a great perspective of this game. It's in a neighborhood, which is nice. So a lot of stadiums are in cities or industrial parks and so forth, but this is really a neighborhood, which helps getting in and out, because there's probably about 15 ways to get in and about 18 ways to get out. So you're not going in on a one road in, one road out.
Like Foxborough Stadium.
You can sneak in and out of here. There's free parking. Although there is some, you know, I mean, if someone wants to pay, someone has a sign up in their lawn someplace in Pawtucket for $2 for a. So if you'd like to park on someone's lawn, go right ahead.
I want you to name. In a quick amount of time, just some big names that have come through here, because any Red Sox fan is going to recognize all these names.
Well, I think one of the great things about this place is you come here, you're going to see the next generation of stars. Now, I mentioned Fred Lynn and Jim Rice earlier, but if you were here in the 80s, you would have seen Mike Greenwell, Roger Clemens, all those players that came through. And then in the 90s, you saw Mo Vaughn, one of the most popular players we've ever had here.
Loved.
Nomar Garcia-Parra. Then you go into the late 90s, you got Trot Nixon, Jason Varitek. Varitek was here just the other day. He's a traveling instructor and with the Red Sox, but he was down here, and he was here. Derek Lowe, and then you go into the 90s. You have Dustin Pedroia, John Lester, Jonathan Papelbon, Jacoby Ellsbury, Clay Buchholz. And the other thing is, then you see the rehabs. I mean, we've had players come down here who had on a rehabilitation stint. David Ortiz. I mean, you look at last year, just last year's team alone of the Red Sox. We had David Ortiz here, we had Shane Victorino here, we had John Lackey here, we had David Ross here. So you see a number in the past. We've had Josh Beckett, we've had Mike Lowell. So you see a tremendous amount of locals here.
You also have the guys,
Red Sox players.
You also have the guys that are hovering, like I mentioned, like a Jackie Bradley Jr. that's like kind of in Boston, but maybe put a little time in Pawtucket too. So you're actually seeing a Boston Red Sox guy that's playing here too.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'll tell you one funny story is that one night Jacoby Ellsbury called up and he was playing at center field in Boston. So I had a sponsor of the team. We're walking through center field, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, I went to Fenway last night, sitting up in the bleachers. It was great." And Jacoby Ellsbury was playing in center field, and we're walking around center field as he's telling me that here the next night in McCoy Stadium. I said, "Oh, you saw him last night. Well, turn around," because Jacoby had been called, sent down that next day, and he was playing center field right in front of him. So the connection with the Red Sox is great. The other thing is we wear the same uniforms as the Red Sox.
That's right.
And we've had players in the past. There was a player in the 1980s who the Red Sox were playing at 7:30. At 6 o'clock, one of their players got injured, so they sent a call down to McCoy, and they grabbed a player called Carlos Quintana. It was a name out of the past. And he was in a PawSox uniform. They got him in a car in the PawSox uniform, drove him up to Fenway Park, changed hats, If you can't wear a P up there, then you wear a B. And he played in the game with the PawSox uniform.
That's fantastic. We are out of time. I'm so sorry.
You got to come back. We'll see you on Mondays. Dollar Value Mondays.
You had me at hot dogs. So, Michael Gwynn, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Man, we could do another show here where there's so much to talk. We didn't even get to the hallway stuff, but we'll get into that next time. Thanks for allowing us at your place. Appreciate it.
Okay, Sean.
We'll take a break and come back. We've got a lot more to get to. Manager Kevin Bowles will be with us in the next segment. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. We are here at McCoy Stadium. We're here with the Pawtucket Red Sox, and we are honored to have the manager of the Pawtucket Red Sox join us for this segment, Kevin Bowles. First time on the show, so first of all, thank you for allowing us to be in your house today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Sean.
Just an overview of I know the season just got started. How you feeling? How's the team looking? Kind of a general overview of what's going on.
Well, we're getting a view of our guys, and obviously a lot of these guys were around Major League camp, so we broke. As a staff, we broke with about 3 or 4 days left. And so we're getting to know these guys a little bit more and watching them gel as a unit. And we had the first few good workouts. We got opening night under our belt last night, and everything's looking up.
Now, you come from Portland. Was that your last?
Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
It was terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific fan base there. It's definitely Red Sox Nation. They were terrific to us, and a lot of talent that came through here. And obviously, a lot of those guys came through and filtered up through Pawtucket, and now they're playing up in Boston, quite a few of them. And it's just been a fun group to be around.
And for those that don't know, Portland's AA, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a terrific place. Great ownership, great front office, and they really treated us well there.
Difference between AA and AAA for those that don't understand the letters.
Well, I just think that with AAA, you have more veteran players. Obviously, they're closer to the big leagues. AA is usually a little bit younger league. You will have some guys with major league experience, but you look at it on the field in AAA, there's a lot of guys with major league experience. And again, the competition, there is a ratchet up of the speed of the game is a little bit ratchet up. And again, our guys, the way they've worked and the way they've gotten themselves prepared for this season, we're excited about the group that we have here.
Now, you're a manager of pedigree because your dad was a major league manager. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it was a great experience, and he was a farm director and field coordinator for 13 years. I was a minor league manager, and I've always, was always hanging around the ballpark. That was kind of my little playground growing up.
You kind of knew, at a very young age, your career path was probably mapped out for you.
Well, you know what? It was never anything that was forced on me.
Yeah.
My father, he always stressed education. Baseball was extra, but he knew from an early age that I fell in love with the game. And then I think in high school, pursuing, playing collegiate ball was a goal of mine. But in high school was the first time I really thought about becoming a minor league manager or an instructor, and it's just something that was really intriguing at the time.
You're talking about kids and stuff like that. Your thoughts on the game today? There's sometimes you'll hear talk in certain areas about, kids might be gravitating a little bit more towards soccer or lacrosse and those things, and maybe we're kind of going outside the country to get a lot of the talent. How has it changed a little bit? And are you concerned about that at all?
Not concerned at all, but there is competition. Yeah. There definitely is competition amongst the sports, and I think it's great though for kids to have interests in other areas other than baseball. And I think it rounds you. I mean, playing high school football for me, helped me out as far as my baseball career. It toughened me up a little bit. And,
not like those pansy baseball players, right?
Well, it's more of a marathon, But again, there's some struggles, and the thing with baseball is that it's geared so much around towards failure. I mean, your rate of success is very limited, and again, you just got to keep pushing through. Make sure you're patient with the guys, but there is competition as far as getting athletes for baseball.
Speaking of the athletes, now what is your opinion of now a baseball team and organization would prefer if they get a player to have him go through their system? How do you feel about players going the college route and then trying to get into the leagues that way?
Well, I think either or is fine. Yeah. I think your high school players, obviously they're a little bit greener. They're not as experienced, and the college players are a little bit more polished. But we're just looking for talent, and our scouting director does a tremendous job in his department. Amiel does a terrific job with our players, and they do a great job as far as makeup on and off the field, and the talent level that we've had it's really come through this system.
Now, one of the big differences for you as a manager, AAA versus AA, is you get a lot of the major leaguers that are probably going to rehab in AAA, right? And also, you have those players like the Jackie Bradley Juniors that are kind of hovering right now, you know, in Boston a lot, but also maybe in Pawtucket a little bit more this year. How is that? How do you have to work around that?
Well, it's a balance. Again, moving guys up is definitely the goal for us, but making sure that they have longevity at the major leagues. But that also goes in and coincides with what their need is at that particular point. So if we get a player sent down to us, you know, you give them a little breathing room. There is going to be some disappointment, but again, we try to keep the big picture in mind. We're going to focus on what we do on a daily basis, but keeping the big picture in mind and having some longevity in the big leagues is the ultimate goal.
Now, what do you do when you're maybe in the playoff race and you get guys snatched? I mean, that's the reason you're here is so that they can move up. But how do you feel about that, and what can you do?
You know what? When you move guys up, it creates opportunity for other guys. So that's how we look at it. And again, you can't worry about what you're doing as far as your club. You just have to be unselfish in that regard. And the ultimate goal is to produce major league ball players and championship quality major league ball players.
Talk to us about the league, the International League. Talk about some of the other teams and the competition in the league.
Well, seeing the guys in spring training, you know, this is, again, my first look at the AAA level from a managerial standpoint. But definitely there's a lot of competition. And, you know, guys are competing against each other, not only amongst the club, but throughout the league. I mean, the limited spots up at the major league level, you know, to become one of the 750 best players in the world is a pretty large task. And so the competition is it's unbelievable. And these guys are getting after it. They work hard, and you see it within the workouts and within the the competition of the games. It's pretty impressive.
How was opening day? What was the experience like?
Terrific. Great.
We won't talk about the game result, but just
yeah. No, the fan base was terrific.
Yeah.
They're pulling for us. I mean, the temperatures dropped, and they were out there pulling for us, and it was just great to see our guys. All the work that they put in the off season. A lot of these guys play winter ball. They're in strength programs. You know, they're following our programs throughout the off season, and then the long spring training that you have. To see them play games that count, I think it's fun to watch.
Are they playing in other leagues in the summer and in the winter, I should say, when this season hasn't started yet?
Yes, you know, quite a few of these players I'm sure that we'll see throughout the league. Personally, I was down in Venezuela, coaching down in Venezuela, and some of these names are going to surface in this league.
So you're working in the off season
too.
too.
Absolutely, absolutely. It doesn't stop. And again, you can take off seasons, but to have an opportunity to go do winter ball, it's a special opportunity.
And you know, there's something about the fan. You were talking about the fan base earlier. Having Pawtucket be so close to Boston, and also Portland, right? Very compact. It's fantastic. I think some teams do a disservice when they may have an affiliate that's so far away from the major league city. Like San Francisco, they had an affiliate in Connecticut at one point, and you know, maybe for some reason they may think that's advantageous for them. But to have the AA and the AAAs so close, that's huge.
Well, and I think it prepares our guys because obviously with the market we're in Boston, we're trying to simulate it as much as possible as far as what we do on the field, as far as the attention they get off the field. There are a lot of demands off the field. And so the closer we are to Boston, I think it's beneficial long term because the media attention, the notoriety that these young players get, it kind of preps them for what they're going to experience when they get to Fenway Park.
And even if they don't make it up there, Nesson's down here once in a while.
Absolutely.
You know, they're doing some games down here, and it's a big deal. Talk about some players specifically. We talked about Jackie Bradley Jr., but even guys that may not be even ready to go to Boston yet. Talk about some of your players.
Well, we've got some talented guys. We have a mix of veteran and youth. Garen Cicchini, our third baseman, ended up being with him last year in Portland. He came up halfway through the season. Left-handed hitter, third baseman, definitely profiles at the position. He has advanced strike zone management. He's pretty special. And also with our catching that we have here, with Christian Vasquez, Dan Butler, and Ryan Lavarnway, we have three quality catchers. And so we have some strengths at some positions. Our rotation, we have quality arms, and I think we're going to be able to defend. We have some guys that can play some really solid defense, but we're a very talented group. There's no doubt about it.
And before we wrap up, one more thing I think it's important to mention is at this level, as opposed to in Boston, players are more approachable. They'll stay after, maybe sign autographs, and it's more hometowny. You get to know the guys better, don't you?
Absolutely, and you can see it over at the dugout, you know, where they have the buckets and they're dropping for autographs.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a neat experience to see that for the first time. And again, our guys are approachable, and it's important because the reason we're here is because of the fan base. You know, I mean, it works hand in hand. And so, again, it's an honor to do this job. I think it's something that you can't take it for granted, and it's really a unique opportunity.
Kevin, looking forward to a fantastic season. Good luck, okay?
Great. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for spending a few minutes with us.
Appreciate
We
it, Sean.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kevin Bowles, the manager of the Pawtucket Red Sox. That's our show for today. Thanks for joining us. You can see this show and many others on our YouTube site. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. We will see you next time. Take care.